Tonight we're spending some time in the next few nights. We're talking about what needs to happen in Washington and what the choices are that you're facing now. I find it hard to believe that people could be threatened with their life and they would go out in Baghdad. 98% of them stuck their finger in purple ink to show that they voted. Here we are, a republic is at stake, and what will the turnout be next week? Part of it is because people are frustrated and confused, and we'll get into that just a little bit here with our studio audience. I want to go to Samuel and then to Ken, because we were talking during the break about being confused, not knowing exactly what to do. Go ahead, Samuel.
What if they're sort of two different candidates that we don't necessarily agree with or have views that we don't hold? How do we participate in that type of government or in that type of election?
Because you don't want to go for a third party, or you...
Or there is no third-party candidate on the ballot.
Okay.
Or should we just simply abstain from government in that case?
Okay. Now, Ken?
My question is a situation where the ultimate goal is to vote out the liberal Democrat representative, but our choices are either a Republican who's a total rhino or a completely unknown independent who has sought the Tea Party endorsement. And I've heard kind of conflicting ideas today. Jason's idea is, suggestion that you should really vote for the person of character, which in my case would be the independent. But Matt's is suggesting, you don't really want to split it three ways, and maybe I should be voting. At least I'm interpreting that as meaning I may should vote for the rhino.
Okay. So let's kind of open this up to you guys in Congress. I will tell you that I'm done wasting my vote. I'm tired of people telling me I'm wasting my vote by not voting for somebody who I really believe in because they don't have a chance. Well, then you're going to have the liberal. Well, I've got the Republicans in anyway, and they stunk on ice for a very long time. So didn't I waste all of those votes for a long time? I'm going to vote for the person of character, so I guess I would go with you, Jason, but I'd like to hear from Michelle and Senator and Jason what your advice is before we go to Matt.
Well, that's why I would say that it's so important to go to a candidate's Facebook site, find out who these people are, find out what it is they value, and then remember the leader of that party.
But wait, Ken is saying, which is a different question than Samuel. Samuel's saying, I can't find anybody. But Ken is saying, my choice is, I got an independent who I know. He's an unknown. I think he's on my side, best I can tell. The GOP guy is a total rhino. And then we know the progressive is in the Democratic Party. So which one do I choose?
Well, remember, when you cast your vote for that individual member, the first and most important vote that member will cast is for the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House sets the entire agenda for Congress. No bill can come to the floor. No bill can be heard in a committee unless the Speaker approves. I think one thing America has seen is how radically Speaker Pelosi is governed. And that very first vote is the most important vote. And just recognize, will we have a Speaker Pelosi or will we have a different speaker? That's a very crucial question when people go in the voting booth.
Ken, are you kind of frustrated by that? Yeah, I am too. Michelle, I love you. You know I love you. But I'm frustrated by that too, because what's happening here is, well, okay, so then I get another Speaker of the House, but if it's all rhinos, they're going to go and put some progressive Republican in there. I mean, John McCain wouldn't have been that much better for us right now. In fact, I get the heat every time I say this. America would still be asleep if John McCain were president today, and he'd be taking us down the same road, except a lot slower. We don't need another rhino.
And, Glenn, that's why the most important thing that we can do for Jim Demint in the Senate and in the House is to get a group of like-minded constitutional conservatives together. The rudder can be very powerful. And if we're a strong coalition and we are the conscience of the House, we can come together and hold our leadership accountable to make sure that they don't put forward the rhino bills. You have to have 218 votes to pass the bill. Well, if they don't have 218 votes, and if you have 15 or 30 members that stand true for constitutional conservative principles, you won't get the rhino bills through.
Okay. I feel like I'm on an episode of Password, where you're kind of like, you know, we're kind of close here. Jason, can you help out at all? Because I think Michelle just said vote for the independent, but I'm not really sure. Vote for the person who believes in the Constitution. Can
Absolutely.
You vote for the person?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I want to work with somebody who's got backbone, who's got spine.
What happens
who can
if
stand in the heat of the moment?
What happens if that means that they're probably going to lose? Then you'll probably have a Democrat in instead. Do you still say no? I'm voting for the one that believes in the Constitution.
Look, I'm a Republican. I'm on the Republican team, but I can't argue with anybody who says, you know what, this person has more spine. I guarantee you, for instance, Mike Quigley out of Illinois is about as liberal gets. But when it comes time to actually stand up to the party establishment and stand true and say, you know what, we're going to put principle first, he's the first guy I go to. I wish he was a Republican on those issues. He's not. But what we need are people of integrity. There are going to be people on both sides of the aisle. Just please send us the person with the most integrity.
All right. Okay. And Senator, we're going to get to you in a second. I'm going to take a break. But